All right, everybody, get ready because this deep dive, we're heading to Montserrat. And
Yeah.
I get the feeling you're interested in a little more than just, the mountaintop view. You want the down and dirty on these incredible funiculars.
You're in the right place because this is not your average mountain, and it's certainly not your average transportation system.
And that's what's so fascinating. We're not just talking about, the mechanics of these funiculars. We're diving into what makes Montserrat itself so captivating.
Oh, it's a place that really does capture the imagination. You have these towering, jagged peaks. Locals call them agujas, and they look like something ripped straight from a fairy tale.
Okay, you had me at fairy tale. What's the story behind these agujas?
Well, local legends say that those unique formations are actually petrified giants, forever frozen in the mountainside, adds a whole other dimension to, just hiking or taking a ride up on a funicular, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like stepping into a living, breathing myth.
Ah,
Speaking of myths and legends, the article did mention Montserrat being a pretty significant spiritual retreat.
oh, yeah, without a doubt. Nestled high in these peaks, there's this Benedictine monastery, and it's been a place of pilgrimage for over 1,000 years. People have been drawn to Montserrat for centuries, seeking solace, reflection, and this connection with something greater than themselves.
Wow, 1,000 years.
Yeah.
There's got to be a fascinating story behind that kind of, um, I don't know, dedication.
Well, the legend goes that shepherds, they discovered a statue of the Virgin Mary hidden in a cave on the mountain. They call her the Black Madonna. This discovery transformed Montserrat into a site of, deep religious significance.
So we've got these incredible natural formations tied to ancient legends, a monastery attracting pilgrims for centuries, all within easy reach of Barcelona. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what makes this a perfect deep dive for someone, wanting to get the most out of a visit.
Exactly. And let's not forget, the artistic side of Montserrat. The mountain has inspired artists for centuries, most notably, perhaps, Antoni Gaudí. Um, his unique architectural style, with those organic forms and nods to nature, they find a certain harmony amidst Montserrat's peaks. You can even find some of his sculptures there at the Rosario Monumental.
Now that you mention it, Gaudi's work, it often feels spiritual in a way, echoing the natural world. It's almost as if his art, it was destined for Montserrat.
It's a beautiful connection, isn't it? Speaking of connections, let's talk about those funiculars. They're not just a way to get around. They offer, such unique ways to experience this multifaceted place.
The article mentioned three, the Cremalera de Montserrat, the Funicular de Santa Cova, and the Funicular de San Joan.
Mm.
Each one kind of offers a different perspective on this incredible mountain, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they each have their own unique charm. Let's start with the Tremalera de Montserrat. Think of it as, your grand entrance to the monastery. It's a comfortable, scenic ride, and it allows you to slowly take in the majesty of the mountain as you ascend.
And from what I understand, it's probably the most practical option for, those wanting to reach the monastery directly, especially if they're, driving in.
You're right. It starts from Monasteral de Montserrat at the base of the mountain and takes you straight to the heart of things.
Okay, so the Cremalera is your direct route to the monastery. But what about, those seeking a more, shall we say, enchanting experience?
Then the funicular de Santa Cova is calling their name. This funicular, it descends from the monastery to the trailhead leading to the Santa Cova cave. Remember, the very cave where that Black Madonna was allegedly discovered.
Right, like taking a ride straight into the heart of the legend. What's that journey like?
Imagine descending 118 meters with the mountainside kind of, unfolding around you, revealing these breathtaking panoramic views.
Wow, sounds magical. And if those views weren't enough, the article mentioned incredible art at the end of the line.
You're thinking of the Rosario Monumental. It's like, stumbling upon a hidden world of sculptures nestled amongst nature. You'll find pieces by Gaudí and Josep Lamona there. A true testament to Montserrat's ability to inspire, artistic expression.
Okay, so we have the scenic route to the monastery and a descent into legend and art. What about our adventurers out there? The ones looking for a good hike and maybe a bit of a thrill.
Yeah, that's where the funicular de Sant Joan comes in. Unlike the Santa Cova, which descends, the Sant Joan, this one ascends to even higher elevations on the mountain. It's your gateway to some of the best hiking trails Montserrat has to offer.
So not for the faint of heart. What kind of views can you expect at the top?
This is where it gets really exciting. Imagine breathtaking vistas that stretch out as far as the eye can see, a true bird's eye perspective of the monastery. those agujas, and the surrounding Catalonian landscape. Plus, there's an interpretation center at the top that delves into, the mountain's unique geology, flora, and fauna.
Wow. Talk about an immersive experience. It sounds like each of these funiculars, they cater to a different aspect of what makes Montserrat so special. We've got, the historical and spiritual with the Santa Cova, the adventurous with the St. Joan, and the practical yet, still incredibly scenic with the Cremolera.
And the best part is you can choose your own adventure. Whether you're drawn to the legends, the art, the hiking, or you just want to, soak in the views, there's a way for you to connect with Montserrat on a personal level.
It really strikes me that these funiculars are almost like, I don't know, physical manifestations of the different ways people experience Montserrat. You've got the Santa Cova, this journey into, the heart of the mountain and its legends, and then the St. Joan propelling you upwards, seeking a higher perspective.
It's a fascinating observation, and it really speaks to just how deeply intertwined the human experience is with this landscape. The funiculars, they aren't just, modes of transport, they're threads woven into the tapestry of Montserrat's story.
Yeah, it makes you think about all those pilgrims, right, throughout history, making their way up those slopes on foot, driven by faith and devotion.
And now, thanks to these engineering marvels, those journeys, they're made more accessible, allowing, even more people to connect with this extraordinary place.
Speaking of accessibility, I know the article mentioned some, practical information about the funiculars, like ticket prices. Could you refresh our memory on those?
Sure, sure. As of late 2024, a single ticket on that Cremolera de Montserrat will set you back €8.40 for adults, with a return ticket costing €14. For children aged 4 to 13, a single ticket is 4.20 and a return is €7.
That's good to know for families, planning their budgets. What about the funicular de Santa Cova?
For the Santa Cova, a single ticket is going to be €10.7, and a return journey will cost you £16.5 for adults. Children aged 4 to 13 can ride for $5.35 for a single and $8.25 for a return ticket.
And if I'm remembering correctly, both the Cremolera and the Santa Cova, they offer discounts for seniors as well.
That's right. Seniors over 65 enjoy a reduced fare on both.
It's great that they've, made it accessible for different budgets and age groups. Now, what about the funicular de San Joan? Any information on those ticket prices?
While the article doesn't provide specific pricing for the St. Joan, it does mention that discounts are available for large families. They also have these, multi-trip cards like the M10, which offers 10 round trips on the funiculars. So if you're planning on really exploring different parts of Montserrat, that could be a savvy investment.
Definitely something to consider. Now, we touched on maintenance closures earlier. It's always a good idea to, double check those dates before heading out.
Absolutely. For anyone planning a trip in early 2024, the Funicular de St. Joan is closed for maintenance from January 8th to 26th.
So a bit of winter downtime for the St. Joan. What about the Santa Cova? Any closures planned for that funicular?
Yes, the Santa Cova has some closures scheduled as well. The article mentions it's closed on weekdays, excluding holidays, from November 4th to 29th, and again from December 2nd to 20th, 2024.
Important dates to note. It's always a good idea to, check for the most up-to-date information on their website before planning your trip.
Absolutely. A little planning goes a long way.
Beyond the practicalities, I'm kind of curious about the experience itself. What is it actually like to be on these funiculars, gliding up or down the side of this incredible mountain?
Imagine this. You're surrounded by, the scent of pine and the sound of the wind, whispering through the trees. As you ascend or descend, the landscape kind of reveals itself in layers. It's like a secret unfolding.
And those agujas, those jagged peaks, they must look incredible from that vantage point.
They're breathtaking. It's as if, they're reaching out to touch the sky and you're right there with them. You might even find yourself reflecting on those ancient legends, feeling the sense of awe at the sheer scale and majesty of nature.
It sounds like, more than just a ride. It's a chance to connect with the spirit of Montserrat.
Precisely, it's this opportunity to slow down, to breathe in the fresh mountain air, and to appreciate, the beauty that surrounds you.
Now, the article, it primarily focuses on the funiculars, but it did briefly mention another way to reach the monastery, the Aire de Montserrat. Any thoughts on that?
While we've been, focusing on that unique charm of the funiculars, the Aire de Montserrat offers a completely different experience. Imagine soaring above the treetops, suspended in a cable car with panoramic views stretching out below you.
It sounds like a thrilling, alternative. A
Yep.
completely different perspective on the same, breathtaking landscape.
It really highlights, the diversity of experiences available at Montserrat, whether you prefer to be, nestled amidst the mountainside on a funicular or soaring above it in a cable car. There's an adventure waiting for you.
It's amazing, how many different ways there are to experience this one mountain. We've talked about, the historical significance, the artistic connections, even the thrill of adventure. It's more than just a view from the top, wouldn't you say?
It's a symphony of experiences,
Yeah.
each note resonating with a different aspect of what makes Montserrat so captivating.
It makes you realize all those ancient pilgrims, they were onto something. That journey of faith, the physical act of ascending the mountain, it was all part of the experience.
It's about connecting with something larger than yourself, right? Whether that's through, spirituality, nature, or even art. And these funiculars, as modern as they offer this bridge between, those ancient impulses and the present moment.
Yeah, they allow us to step into that history, to feel the weight of those legends, but with a modern twist. It's no longer about this arduous climb. It's about, choosing your own path, your own perspective.
And that's a powerful thing, isn't it? To stand on those peaks, to explore those trails, and to know that for centuries, people have been drawn to this same place, seeking something extraordinary.
Gives me chills just thinking about it. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from the geology of the Agujas to the artistic legacy of Gaudí, but I get the feeling we've only just scratched the surface of what Montserrat has to offer.
There are countless, hidden trails to wander, stories whispered in the wind, and breathtaking vistas just waiting to be discovered. Montserrat is a place that keeps revealing itself layer by layer to those who, seek a deeper connection.
So to our listener out there, I hope this deep dive has sparked your own sense of adventure. When you find yourself, gazing up at Montserrat, don't just see a mountain right at. See those legends etched into its peaks, the art blooming amidst its slopes, and those countless journeys waiting to be taken. This deep dive may be over, but your own exploration of Montserrat, that's just beginning.